You're not going to go for all those things you want to attain the first day. Just go out and make it happen. Because even when you just go out and you walk down the street and hit the mailbox three driveways down and go, okay, that's as far as I'm walking today, and I walk back home, it's 100 yards. There are tens of millions of people who are not even doing that.
Welcome to the Pretty Profit Podcast, where we talk beauty, business, and big results that go beyond the surface. I'm your host, Marcia Mehrali, owner of Beneath the Surface Spa in Madison, New Jersey. Today, we're stepping into the world of fitness with purpose. My guest is Chris Cray, the owner of Cray Fitness, also in Madison, New Jersey, a powerhouse gym that's built not just around lifting weights, but lifting people up. Chris is known for his no-nonsense approach, his commitment to helping people transform from the inside out, and the incredible community he's built in the fitness space. In this episode, we're breaking down the real mindset needed for lasting change, why people fail at fitness goals, and how to simplify your health goals without losing momentum. Whether you're a busy entrepreneur, a tired parent, or just feeling stuck, Chris has something for you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. And if you like what you hear, drop a comment below. So, after you have a workout with Chris, you need to come to Beneath the Surface Spa. We have so many services for relaxation and just chilling out after a hard workout, not just with massages. Of course, we have Swedish massage, an integrated massage, deep tissue. We even offer medical massage. But what I really love when there is not a massage available is the Japanese head spa. You will chill out. You won't even know where you are when you wake up. People can't even make another appointment when they come to the desk. And they even sometimes forget to tip the person who gave them the service. So you need to come in. You need to just chill, have a nice scalp massage. It relaxes your entire body. Chris, welcome to the show. I'm so excited to have you here today.
Awesome.
What I really ask you is, what was the defining moment when you realized fitness wasn't just a job, but your mission?
I was a school teacher and a coach and helping kids get ready for events and also trying to make it to big schools and college and all that. And I was always volunteering time. And I'd been an overweight child, and I just always had fitness, for sports. So I basically I got involved with that, and I said, "Wow, I really love fitness." And it came to my junior year of college, and I was going to be a science teacher. And my professor said, "You shouldn't be a science teacher. You should be a physical education and health teacher." And I said, "That's for the guys that can't do science." And he said, "No, no, no. Actually, if you're really good at it, believe it or not, most administrators are former athletes slash personal, I'd say phys ed teachers and health teachers, because they can handle large groups of kids and help them with instruction." So that's when I started my journey, and I was very excited about helping people out. And then I started doing personal training because, long story short, um, teaching doesn't pay a lot. I did it on the side. And within 6 months, I stopped being a teacher, and I opened a gym within a year. And within 3 years, I was in 7 locations. It was fantastic.
That's awesome.
Super cool. Yeah.
So does every trainer have a philosophy, or do you?
Yes. Basically, my whole thing was trying to answer, my company used to be called Total Body Fitness, and now we're just Cray Fitness, because we were talked about having like the heart, the mind, and the body involved with everything. So we really looked at what was going on with people as an individual. We bring them in and say, okay, what's going on with you with your stress? What's going on with you, your eating? What's happening? There's a lot. It feels very overwhelming for a lot of people. And we wanted to just answer the question that people always say, why? Why would I do this? What do I do? So my philosophy is to kind of do that, bring them on a journey and get them where they have to go. And I incorporate doctors and therapists, et cetera. And I'll tell you more about that as we chat along.
So how would you describe your approach to fitness? Because I know when Chris and I, my husband's name is Chris as well. Chris and I came in for your evaluation. I I had never been evaluated like that before, and I was thinking, wow, this is really strange. So, but then as we started working out with you, I realized what you were trying to do for us, and try to transform us. So, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, basically, we look at things like a three-pronged assessment. We do a functional movement screen. We do we do an assessment. We do a functional movement screen, and we do a medical part Q. So we basically find out, all the information we can find out about you. We look at your posture, your breathing, your movement patterns, and basically we start out in the beginning fixing your asymmetries in your body. If you have a problem with something going on with your hip or your shoulder hurts, sometimes the problem in your shoulder is your lower back, or the problem in your lower back is your shoulder or your foot. So that's where I kind of want to start things out. And the two of you are different humans, even though you're together all the time, you're different people. So that's why in our workouts, sometimes you will do one thing for a certain body part or a system, and he will do another. And then we try to bring you together. And within about, as you probably noticed, within about a month or so, you're both doing similar exercises at the same time. So that's what it's kind of came about.
How do you customize the training for us? Like, do you, come up with something before we get there? Are you on the fly, when we're there? Like, how do you
Great,
come up with what we're doing?
great question. Great question. Um, what people don't see with trainers if they're involved with personal training and fitness, I was trained conditioning specialist. So I have to have a background and higher certifications and multiple certifications. And basically, when you're not, before we see you, after we see you the first time, we take all that information, we evaluate what's going on with you, and we'll make a plan accordingly and hopefully have an outcome. And we do programming for about either 1 month to 3 months of a program, and then we move on to other things. We have short-term goals we put together. So I have all these plans we come in. It's never winging it. It's always a plan. Um, I'm always trying to give you short-term goals to get through. Like, you may not have perfect eating right now, but instead of 3 beers, have two. Instead of having instead of having chicken on a salad, which is what I hear every day, healthy today, chicken on a salad. Instead of doing I'm going to do, what is it? The starvation diet for 3 days and come back. Um, just do a little bit, and we just keep on moving that a little bit and keep on giving you a little bit more. And within a few months, it's amazing how much you can do for change. It really is. So.
So what do you think? People have their own ideas about their fitness. So you think what do you think people get wrong about fitness when they first come to you?
We don't have enough time for that today.
We don't have to- Let's pick one thing. Like, what's the one thing across the board that all of us are like, no, you're wrong, I'm right, or something like that?
Well, I've even had twins that disagreed because a twin didn't do this or that. I mean, so like
Yeah.
basically, people come in where they have a confirmation bias they have from the past, where they've done certain things when they were in high school or college. So I think that workout will work forever, or they had a friend that did a certain thing, or whatever it might. There's something they saw on TV, or some person says, "Oh, do this thing and it works perfectly," and they think that's all going to work, and so they have a real strong opinion about it. And so what I try to do is make sure through our testing, as you may notice, the first day we got together and saw what we had for strengths and weaknesses. And that doesn't just mean strength as far as picking up weights and lifting and moving, and weaknesses as far as not being able to do it. Um, we find out what's going on and say, okay, wow, I didn't know I couldn't, whatever, stand on one foot for very long. I didn't know that I had a problem with lunging. I didn't know I couldn't get up off the floor. I mean, these are things that people have for problems they don't even realize they're happening. We're very spoiled. We can buy an SUV to step up into, so we don't have to step down into a car. We can put a riser on everything from our toilet seat to our chairs to not have to bend our knees, and we can basically get away with a lot because as long as we're a good person and we provide for our family and do good things to other people, they accept us for who we are, and this is wonderful, but it doesn't really help out your health.
Yeah. So we all know that motivation can sometimes fade. Like you're ready to go. You're all, let's get this done. So how do you help clients stay consistent even on days when they really don't feel like showing up besides your 24-hour policy?
Um, 24-hour cancellation policy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, when I was younger, I used to have this whole, it was like it was an 18-hour policy. 'Cause I didn't think sleeping was included. Um, and then but basically people have the hardest thing for fitness. The biggest issue we have is commitment with anything we do. Right. And so I try to show people I'm committed to them. And when they come in, I'll goof around and try to, I might throw a little guilt on them. Like, really? You didn't do that yet? Really? What are you doing? Um, because, because I want to make it light air. I want them to know that I care what happens to them. And we have to do some little things like there's a thing called the KISS technique. Keep it simple, stupid. Right. And it's like, just keep it, normal and get through things. And to motivate people, I like to have, I want to measure all we can measure, whether it be the size of a person or how much strength they have and what they're doing for goals there. I want to keep on assessing and testing them periodically. By the way, you guys you're doing a few weeks for your assessment all over again to show them because we're visible society. We need to see the data that hey, we're changing, we're making changes, we're seeing it. And it's not about, oh, I want to weigh a certain weight. It's about how much healthy weight you have on your body. I spent many years with a body fat caliper, squeezing it and doing hydrostatic weighing underwater with people, and it's all wonderful. But it's really about getting the healthy body, and we know by your heart rate, your blood pressure, and what's going on with your blood work that whether you're healthy or not.
Yeah. Yeah. Being consistent really, really is important. We talk about that at Beneath the Surface as well. If you're looking for results, it doesn't happen in a day. It doesn't happen with one facial. It doesn't happen with one workout. You really have to continue, get to a point where you're happy with the result you have, and then keep that result going. Wouldn't you agree?
I
Yeah.
would fully agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So how do you
and
keep people accountable?
well, um, unlike you and Chris, I don't do shock therapy, but I used to. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, um, to hold people accountable, what I try to do, I have a couple of things going on. We don't just meet with them in the gym. I also give them workouts to bring home with them. As a thing, I use a couple of applications to help them use them at home, and I have a dashboard that tells me what's going on with their workouts and if they've done them or not. And I also also can speak into a message panel and make that go through to the person. It just happened this morning. A person said, "Oh, I can't do this. I did that better." And I said that positive reinforcement and said, "Awesome. You did a great job." And then they were like, "Yeah, I did what you said and it worked. Thank you." And it was just a really, and we're so busy. We're so distracted. I just think it's a way to reach out because people do not follow through when they go home. Ask any physical therapist and tell you why the person comes back because they don't do the exercise.
I know. I did exercise. FYI. Chris did
Don't
not,
give it.
but I did. I'm
Okay.
telling on him.
Always, yep. This is what happens to me. My wife throws me under the bus when she can.
That's it.
So,
Right. Right.
basically, the other part too is people don't realize, they recommend that we work out between 150 and 300 minutes a week. People say, my gosh, that's like 5 hours of our week. I know we have 168 hours in the week, and I always break it down for people like how many hours we should sleep and all that. If we turn off our TVs for a minute or two and just kind of do our thing, we always have time. And in the beginning, it's gonna suck anyways. Okay. In the beginning, it's gonna not be happy with like anything you do. Like when you opened your spa and got involved with that, you know, I believe you told me your story, kind of how you got involved with the spa piece, which is kind of cool. But you and I have that in common. We like to help people and it's kind of cool to see the changes. And that's what I think people have to understand. If they worked hard to get a certain degree in college or they worked hard to get higher in their job, it's gonna have a crappy factor, right? And you've got to get through it and learn better, and eventually get to be on the top of the thing and say, okay, we're good to go. You wouldn't let your house go bad or your car go bad. You would take care of both of those things, and we do the same thing with our bodies. I hope I didn't overtalk that. I think I did.
No, you did not. Well, fitness isn't just about reps and sets. And recovery is a huge part of results. But what do you teach, and how do you coach people on lifestyle things like sleep and stress and nutrition?
Well, we do offer nutritional analysis. It's a very comprehensive battery of questions that we go through. It takes a while to answer it. It's like a 45-minute thing we send to them online, and they go through to answer the whole thing. My wife is a certified nutritionist, and she's also a retired figure competitor, and so she's seen all of it with how people diet and everything, um, the best and the worst. And we try to make sure we set people up with a real thing with nutrition. Nutrition's about 80 to 90% of your success. I wish it was telling you that my personal training was all of it, but it's a big part of it, but it's not. Um, and the other part is as far as sleep and that piece, we know sleep is super important. And so I want to have people slowly and over time, right now you might be only getting 5 hours sleep and say, look, get 5 hours and 15 minutes. My gosh. And just try to add on to that every week, 15 more minutes. And eventually you'll get to where you want to go. But if it's like my house where there's distractions all the time, sometimes we're like, oh, but I like that show. I'll see it again, and all of a sudden we're binge watching and we don't do it. So it's a journey.
So, how do you change people's mindsets? Because I know sometimes their minds are just holding them back.
Well, it's funny that you asked that because basically, I'm looking off to the side to think for a little bit here. Basically, when people come in, they only can do what they know, and they only learned a certain way. They've been in the same habit of doing things a certain way. If they were born from genetics of being a very thin, attractive, and whatever, they get away with that for so long that all of a sudden they go, wait a minute, I went through menopause and I gained 30 pounds, and it's like, wait a minute. They don't know what to do, right? So, or wait, I only put on, the average person in the US puts on a couple of pounds a year after they get out of college, out of high school. So that adds up quick when all of a sudden you wake up and, when you're 48, at 18, you're 115 pounds, and at 48, you're like, if I multiply that out, it's a lot of weight. So, and it's easy to stay in that thing. So to motivate and to move people forward, we try to do basically we try to find a comprehensive plan for that person, as I mentioned earlier, and it sometimes involves a lot of behavioral uh, therapy and saying, okay, this is what you're doing for behavior. How do we change that? And the objections are always the same, and it starts with the first couple of words: I can't because. Excuses are time, family. Did I mention the first two excuses? It's always time and family and work. Okay, that's the three that people talk about, and they say, "Oh, I can't," because, and they don't realize that, as I mentioned earlier, if we just, you know, suck it up and turn the TV off,
Yeah. So if they just change and say, I can because.
Yes, and I don't allow. You might have heard this from. I think you've heard this from me a couple of times. You may not have yet. Is when someone says, I can't do that, I go, oh, well, we don't use those words. I'm unable to at this time. I'm unable to do that at this time, because eventually you're going to be able to. And that's where a lot of women come in. They want to be like, I could never do a pull up. And we just have a goal of getting a few pull ups in, or we have another goal of, whatever it might be. But that's how we try to motivate. And I think that being real with people and listening to them is super important. And when I learn that I have 2 ears and only one mouth, that'll help me a lot, because I sometimes talk more than I listen. And I think it's important for all of us to kind of get that way.
So, in beauty and fitness, both, people often want fast results. How do you coach clients around patience and trusting the process?
Well, that's changed as well in the past 3 or 4 years because of those injections you can get to lose 48 pounds. And people forget that they don't listen to when there's a reason why their doctor says you can only be on this for so long, for many reasons, but also because, and after a year, I've already changed their lifestyle. So how do we get them to change and commit to that? Um, like with beauty, it's a constant process. You got to be, just plan on it. You got to make it, something you do every day. My wife had mentioned to me a few days ago that you wouldn't get up and leave the house without brushing your teeth. And it's just like brushing your teeth. You get up and do your thing. and then you go do your thing. We have people pack a bag for their car, hopefully. So if they're coming home, they have no excuse to go, well, I could stop, but I didn't have any clothes. I even had people leave clothing here for workout clothes, so they don't come in, oh, I forgot my stuff. So just try to get rid of the excuses that way, and have little celebrations over how much water someone drinks, or because we want them to be more hydrated, or that they'll come in and tell me they didn't have dessert, or I'll get a text sometimes from people in New York last week that sent me text. I didn't have the dessert. I didn't have the dessert, and I'm like, okay. And it's like, but
Have
I
the
think,
dessert.
yeah, right, you're right. But it's really like, but the killer, like for me, I mean, I'm like Cookie Monster with pizza. I love pizza. I can eat pizza every meal, every moment of my day, right? And pizza's not the great thing. Even like cauliflower crust and all that, it's still pizza, right? So, but it's, the thing for people that they find, like myself, I love bread. And so go to a restaurant, I've got to be like, no bread. And I get by it fine. Once I say no bread, it's just remembering to not do that. So, because we celebrate with food, right?
Well, I think if you stop eating those things that, that you feel are holding you back, you really don't have the cravings for them anymore.
Well, it's funny. There's only a certain amount of time you have to go through that before the cravings kind of go away. And and again, if you're doing like I know you and Chris are really into micronutrients and trying to look at what's going on as far as preparing the body for things, and that it's so huge because people always look at our macros, our food, regular food, and the food is so beat up from processing and it's just been just so horrible compared to what we could have with organic and trying to make our bodies look for more healthy choices. And we all have that idea what it is, because, oh, plenty of fruits and vegetables. Well, people think a banana is the only fruit out there, or the vegetable. I had a tomato on my steak, so that's they they don't take their time to think about it. And if we just take our time for that, you feel so much better. But again, it's that behavioral piece where they've got to either journal or they've got to celebrate with somebody about what they did before they'll accept it and be able to have bragging rights. So that's what we seem to find that works with that.
Well, as a wellness professional, I love collaborating with people who, like you, who understand the full picture. Do you ever partner with practitioners, massage therapists?
Actually, very good question. I have in the past, literally started my business out where I had multiple practitioners come in because that's why we had Total Body Fitness. We had at the time we had for mental therapy and clarity, we used the Byron Katie technique, which the thing was asking inquisitive questions about yourself. We had a therapist come in. We did Tai Chi, we had yoga, we had all these different facets of training. And we even had a thing that at lunchtime, they could find a healthy lunch for you and have it delivered. So you wouldn't have to have an excuse to not show up at lunchtime to work out. Um, yeah. And I really want, and I think, and so for me now, I'm getting back, I'm having that happen again. And I'm excited about it because wellness is not just, okay, he ran a marathon, or okay, he climbed a mountain, or he lifts a bunch of weights. I mean, if it was that commercial, whatever gym it is, to pick things up and put them down, I was that guy. But I was told back in the '80s to eat 10,000 calories a day to keep my weight up for sports. And if I did that today, I definitely keep my weight up. That's for sure. But but yeah, it's having that. So it's great. I do work with physical therapists directly. I have referrals from them. I refer back and forth. Chiropractic people, orthopedic doctors. Very blessed to have a couple of top people that are surgeons that are involved with us. And now we're looking into, again, like with the spa and what's going on there. It's like one of the most neglected things people have. They'll go out and spend $200 on dinner, but won't get a $100 massage. I don't get it. I just don't get it. But it's common. I like food too. So, but
Especially after a workout. I mean, you worked us out really hard on Friday, and I have a knot in the middle of my back that is not going away.
oh, and you
And
didn't
I
call your
need a
trainer.
massage. Oh my God, I need a massage in the worst way. And the girls are not in till Wednesday. So
Oh,
So
Yeah.
I have to wait for
Yeah.
my massage. But, you need a massage after a workout. You need that lactic acid moving. You need some stretching because I'm not good at stretching on my own, as you know. I
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah. That's what, yeah. Well, I think, well, the other thing too, and this is a, and it's funny because there's all these studies out there. I'm really into like the foam roller, I like this self myofactory release. They call it SMR because it's cheap. It's easy to do. It's a little painful sometimes, but it's something you do to get your body awakened and going. And as we get older, our circulation isn't so great. And we need to really start, and if we stay in one position all the time, like if I was thinking about like with your business, if someone is a masseuse, they're hurting after 5 or 6 people. They're going to go home and be like, whoa. And they do a lot of things to fix that. I know the ones that I know do that. The ones that don't stay in massage very long. Because they have back problems too.
Yep.
If you have a dog or
You
a cat,
imagine
they go,
working out every day? I mean, that's like a workout, that massage.
love. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, love it.
Yeah.
Awesome. But
Yeah.
yeah, but the stretching, they need it. And they need to have, and you need some time to just chill. And we teach that too. We talk about 4 square breathing and some other things to get usually your diaphragm to breathe with. When you go into a spa type situation, you go and you chill out and you do your thing. And people say, oh, you're getting pampered or whatever. And what really happens is you let the whole body kind of take care of itself. And the skin is our largest organ. Why would we not take care of it?
Yeah. We've heard that a lot in this podcast from every guest. They have said the skin is the largest organ. So it is. And people, and you see it, you see your skin. So, we take little hints from our body. It's the same with the face. You know that, for the face, there is like a reflexology type thing for facials. So if you have a breakout on your jaw, if you have a breakout on your jawline, on your forehead, that means something within your body is wrong. And most of the time, I will say, is this going on with you? And the client will say, yeah. How did you know that? So I know if you're a smoker, definitely, because
Yeah, yeah,
not for
and
the
as
it
you
goes
see
to
my red skin
vaping.
from right, right. As you can see my red skin from being in the garden this weekend. Too much, but
Right.
the other thing too, and I have a lung issue, and that was found by a doctor looking at my lower leg, and he said, "Oh, you had this," and I go, "Am I looking at my lower leg?" He's like, "Yeah, this is what happens," and I go, "Okay." And then we dealt with it, but and I'm a guy that thinks about my health all the time. I always was proactively doing it. Um, but it's really that thing, like you said, the skin, and you've got to take care of it and manage it. And plus, if you have better skin and you go and take that time, you feel better. You're more relaxed. And we're in a real chaotic world right now. And I think that's part of. I mean, in this area, I was told my buddies before I moved down here from a very much less populated state that 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 basically it's like rats in a box. Sometimes you get, it's killing one person, 2 people, and you get 25 in there, and they're killing the first one for the food, and it's really that thing. So yeah, it's just a real needed thing. And the other part is to make sure that when we talk about commitment, it's having a person who's committed to taking care of you again next month and the next month and the next month. That's as you know, you've built a lot of friendships and relationships from your business. And I know with all of my people, I know when they have a grandchild born, I know when they have things happening, and they know a lot about, probably too much about me, but um
Yeah. My
that's what I
daughter had a baby and they were bringing me baby gifts. So
oh
you
yeah.
really had this I was like, what's this gift
Yeah.
for? It's for your daughter. They've never met her. So it
Yeah.
really is,
Yeah. Oh,
when you
nice,
have a
huh?
small business, a really close connection with your clients that you see all the
Yes.
time and you know everything about
Yeah.
them and you want to gift them. So I was really like, I thought that was really nice. Yeah.
It's super cool. Yeah. So it just shows that, the businesses need a thing that we all need is integrity. And if you can show that to other people, I mean, when I moved in, I just moved spaces about little over a year and a half ago to this location. I was at a different location in Madison. I'm now on my main street, um, as you know. But basically, when I went to move over, a couple of my clients are like, you want help moving? Do you want us to go over and paint? Let's have a paint party. Let's do our thing. And I was like, wow, that's really nice of you. That's awesome. Because usually it's, my wife and I, and maybe someone who can steal from someplace, or spend way too much money on the kids that live in our house to have them come help us. So, but yeah, it's nice, and that's where I think with business, and I hope that that's what people are seeing. I know that knowing you and and Chris, so, now getting to know you so well, it's like, I like you as people. And it's important to know that part when you go to a business because it's about trust. And that's where we go on about what do you do to motivate. I have the degrees. I've got like 13 letters after my name that help out with all that stuff. It's all nicey nice. At the end of the day, it's how we can help people. What can we do to help them out? And that's where they look to you as well. And I think it's really cool because although I don't have a really cool brick wall like you have back
Yeah.
there with the little,
You like
I
that?
like this spot. That's really cool. Yeah, I have one at the other location. I love the brick wall for the fitness thing. It was so cool.
Mhm. Yeah.
So yeah, oh, yeah. I digress. But yeah, so basically, we talk about this all the time. One of my favorite people I talk about way too much. And when you came in for this evaluation, we did what they call a functional movement screen to see what's going on with your body. No, what I was getting at, there's a guy that I follow and I chat with, and he's a really good guy. He's known for studying movement in people, and he's a world renowned guy in what we do for work, fitness, and everything. And he has this quote. We just wrote it down again today. It's like he's like any idiot can make you sweat. And so people that can make you sweat and know why, and the people that make you sweat and understand, they manage your pain, and that type of thing. That's what got me to move toward the over 40 crowd. It was great with high school athletes. They're like spaghetti. You throw a piece of the workout on the wall, whatever sticks works. Kids go run up the hills. Hey, that worked. Awesome. Go ahead. They're almost indestructible in many ways, especially kids are all good athletes for them. The over 40 crowd, we start having things happen and we start to look into things, and it's kind of exciting because when someone actually says, oh yeah, I used to do these things and I want to do them again. And we work our whole lives to have retirement and be able to enjoy our lives. And then we get to retirement. We have to take the bus and walk with a small crowd. We can't go hike that mountain we wanted to do, or pick up our grandchild and have fun with them. You got 18 more, at least 18. Well, you're going to be about 12 years to that. I was going to say you're 12 to 15 years before that child ignores you because they're a teenager. So, you know, I think it's 12 years old.
Or their grandparents. They don't ignore us.
Or their fun uncle. I
It's
tell you
their
right now.
parent.
Yeah. They're like, oh, you're still last week, right?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So
But,
what are three simple things, someone could do this week to start moving toward a healthier body?
well, one thing I didn't get to, and I went off on a tangent here, was I didn't get to tell you about, I really want to tell you about basically people they try to go all out the first week. They try to go all out. You see it so often. They see something new and they go, oh, I'm going to do that. That's great. So they sign up for 3 years or something, and they bought the bike and they're riding with their instructor, and then they get this other thing over here, and I'm doing this, and oh, they all look great. And the body's hurt. They fall apart. Within 3 weeks, they stop doing it. It's like the first of the year. Oh, New Year's resolution. We all know by Valentine's Day, they're eating chocolates and pouring champagne on this diet they never did. Right? We know it's true. So what I tell people to do,
Champagne, by the way, is less calories because of the bubbles.
if it's white, it's right. So,
That's what I tell people.
the bubbles. Yeah. We tell
It's
them that
carbonated.
if it's white, it's right. We look for the white, the clear liquors, but yeah,
Yes.
if it's carbonated.
Yeah.
That means that all that beer that I drank never really counted, I guess.
It didn't.
But
Yes.
but we basically tell people to really, you're not going to sleep 8 hours the first night you should. You're not going to work out an hour on your own the first time. You might get lucky with good music playing and you just get through it. You're not going to go for all those things you want to attain the first day. Just go out and make it happen. Because even when you just go out and you walk down the street and hit the mailbox three driveways down and go, okay, that's as far as I'm walking today, and I walk back home, it's 100 yards. There are tens of millions of people who are not even doing that. It's every little thing you do. People always say, "Oh, I want to run a marathon." I'm like, why don't you walk a 5K? Why don't you go walk the track a mile or something? And then you want to do these great grandiose things. Let's do it. Do it. I would suggest there's a great book that's called The Comfort Crisis. It's a great book to read. People to start looking into that stuff as far as how we've kind of let go of things, and would help them motivate much better than what I can do. The guy's much better writer and speaker than I am. Behind me, you'll see I have this little thing called Atomic Habits by James Clear. That's a great book for people to check out. I've led this out so many times. I'm not sure if I underline the things I have to change or they underline the things, but there's like 7 different markers in here for people. But it's just little changes all the time, getting out, doing it. But again, you've got to do a couple of things. You got to either journal or tell yourself, "Hey, I did a great job," and record it somehow. And you've got to make sure that you'd say, "Okay, I know I didn't climb Mount Everest, but I walked up this hill 3 times and the dog didn't pull me down it. I'm doing okay today." Okay, that's what's reality, right? So, and when someone says to me they can't do something, I get really upset. I get upset with myself that I'm not getting them where they want to go, because I've had the 76-year-old lady who was doing fingertip push-ups when she was 79. I've had the person in a wheelchair that couldn't get out and walk across the room. I've had the guy who didn't even know where Mount Everest was and go up to base camp. I've had those people. Am I a world's greatest trainer? No. But motivationally, you know, get those people where they have to go. That's our thing. And so everybody's got different goals, and I'm probably going on about that stuff, but that's our plan. Good health, moving more, feeling better, recovering, spoiling grandchildren. I'm probably not going to have any of those or not. Because our kids are more to like having dogs and stuff and spending money. But no, we don't know. But but to have that, to celebrate, I think that's the big piece. And I think you have a way of how you do things with your clients and people you help at the spa. Obviously, they appreciate it and recognize you for that. And I think with what I do, I hope that if nothing else, people know they learn more about not having the myth of not doing enough for fitness. They realize they can actually lift weights more than 3 pounds and be okay. They realize that they're 70 years old, they can still work out. These are things that's what we try to instill in them.
Yeah.
Probably off track of any big facts. I've got all kinds of facts. But,
So,
but
at Beneath the Surface Spa, we focus on cellular health and high absorption supplements, liposomal supplements. How do you guide your clients on fueling their bodies properly without getting caught up in those diet trends?
well, first I talk about this, which usually I don't. I try to have as much of this as I can get. This is water, by the way, not vodka. But and I've been involved with that's funny you mentioned absorption. I've been involved. I was just talking about an old diet that Gold's Gym had 30 years ago when I first was involved with this. That was all about absorption, oxidation, and everything with the cells. Um, the fad diets, I usually ask them why they're doing the diet and why they think it's going to work for them, right? And as you know, and looking over stuff that you folks are looking at with your dietary stuff, I'm like, okay, well, food, people are worried about food prep. They're worried about, you know, making things happen. We're so blessed now that if it's affordable to people, they can actually have somebody else do all of that and send it to their house. Um, but basically the fad diet, so you can lose weight quickly. Anything you lose weight quickly with is going to make you put it back on just as well later on. Your fat cells get to be a certain size, and it's much easier for them to get fat again and become large again, I should say, enlarge it. Um, some people go and have things done to reduce problem areas. Awesome. As long as they're safe and they have it done, that's your own thing. There's no judgment there. But as far as your heart and your lungs and your circulation, you got to exercise. You have to do something with movement. Exercise starts the moment you move your body. All the systems kick in. And that's where I tell them, exercise. And you got it with your diet, back to your diet. You have to be committed to doing something, even if it's a potato chip diet where you say, okay, I'm having 5 potato chips and a glass of water. That's my diet. Stay committed. If it doesn't work, well, change your diet, right? It's just, you got to have it. And it's so funny because we all eat and we all prepare food, but we all still do the easy way out quite often. We go,
I really like, when Chris and I have started coming to you, you really train very differently. You train us like you're coaching us. Um, and a lot of the workouts, I thought, this is weird. What's this going to do for me?
right.
I don't know.
That's good to know now.
It's,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just you have these very strange workouts, which is fine. Now I know kind of your method to your madness because we've been with you for a while and now things are shifting on my body. So even though I might weigh the same, things are fitting different. And like all my jeans don't fit me right now and I weigh the same.
which is awesome, except for it's going to cost you a lot of money at the store. Anyways,
Yes.
I do it. That's
But on
great. Well,
fun things, on clothing, smaller clothing.
that's awesome. Good for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
The thing is, we have to sneak in corrective exercise. If someone's got an abnormality in their posture or a problem with something going on in their body where they're not moving well and they're harming, like we have a lot of people come in with back problems and shoulder problems and postural issues. If you don't have forward head, if you don't have what they call um, basically your posture, you move forward with your head like this, by the time you're 40, you're probably not working any place because we all look at screens all the time, right? And so basically, the difference in what we're looking at is not how much you weigh. It's what's your body look like. And if you, people say lifting weights, resistance training thing, um, getting your body to accept things, adding more weight, which you're going to love in the next couple of weeks, because I'm going to definitely add more weight. That's what changes our body. So that's how, and with me, he kept asking me the different things I do. And basically every time you come in and every time you leave, I have a plan. When you leave, I think about your next plan for the next time I see you and what I could do differently. Like with you, we're going to start having you do a lot more stuff at home. You first came in, you had another form of exercise you're doing a lot of. I don't know if you returned to that or not. But I have a plan for you. As I sent Chris a plan already, and hopefully he's kind of getting to it. I'll find out when I look at my dashboard. So, but, but
I
yeah,
don't
so
think so.
that was
I'm
on my
kidding.
list. By the
I'm
way,
kidding.
everybody's on. I don't know if Emma knows this, but everybody's on my list. There's a list, and you don't want to get on Chris's list. It's not a
No.
good thing. I don't know what the list is for, but I know there's a list I have.
Yeah.
People that don't get
Yell at us.
don't follow through. Yeah, well, I just I just want to make sure I reinforce again and again. And sometimes people will call me and they'll have about something totally different, and I'll say, "Oh, really? So you still counting coffee as drinking water? Because it's really not, right? You're still not doing that, right?" And they're like, I gotta go. I think someone's calling me." And but it's because I said, you're on my list. And then when they go from, it's like the naughty and the nice list to a Santa. I mean, I'm basically Santa, different form, um, but yeah, that's the thing, is we have to work on your structure before we can move on to heavier weights and lifting and resistance. Once we get you there, it's going to be great. And then when you're gone on vacation, hopefully a lot more often, and you're doing other things, that you have a plan and activity, you can go, oh, I'll just do this thing, and I'll just hit this button on my phone or my iPad, and it's got Chris's workout all there for me, and this is what I'm doing. And if the workout is great, awesome. If it's not good, you'll let me know too, so we don't cause harm or you don't get bored. And that's how we get it going. Anyway, so yeah, there's
So what are your goals for Cray's Fitness in the next year?
oh, I don't have long enough podcast for that.
A lot.
Yeah. My goal is really, I really want to be more, I probably want to move to first floor someplace, but I want to be well known around the area for what we do with specialized training. I would like to have more fitness professionals join me in my little spot. I would like to include more people in. I do like to different professionals. In the past, I had a masseuse and I had a nutritional person, and my wife is a law, so she's not nutritional as much anymore. So I have to find some of that. I'd like to get out there more in the community and do more to help out with things, and get some more. We're starting to do more free seminars and programs. But basically, that's what I'd like to do. Is basically people say, "Oh, I have this problem going on. Oh, go to Cray Fitness. I go to that guy over there, and he does this stuff. I don't know what he did, but my brother feels better, so he said go to this guy." And that's kind of what I want. Referrals are everything, and that's what referrals mean. You're doing your job well, and that's what I have to get out there. So that's
So
kind of it. How about you? What do you want to say?
maybe you can even partner with Beneath the Surface Spa and sell these amazing supplements that I have.
Oh man, do I get it for free?
No,
Free supplement thing?
they're free. No, we'll just get you moving and grooving, so you won't want you'll be able to afford all of it. They're not that expensive. You're telling the viewers my supplements are expensive. They are
No,
not.
hey, I'm the reason places like Vitamin Shop are in business. My wife and I were just laughing about this morning. People forget their micronutrients and how little we have coming from our food sources today. I'm from a farming family, and I know how many times they use those fields and how often they rotate them. And there's a lot of nutrients not in the soil anymore in certain places. Right? That's just one aspect. Um, but yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, I'm totally open to looking over all of that because in the past I did own I was partners in a supplement company with some very small thing, but very specialized. And the guy was he's an engineer and he knew a lot of other things, and he was just obsessed about what we used and the products we were using, and it helped a lot of people. So that's something I would be
It
definitely
does help
interested
a
in.
lot.
Yeah, as I mentioned, I'm looking
Yeah.
for right now. I'm looking for a nutritionist. I'm looking for supplement stuff we could do. I'm looking for someone with massage. I'm looking for Tai Chi people. I'm looking for a way to have more
Yeah.
people in here.
I had Karen O'Sullivan. She's in the area. She's a nutritionist, and she was on the podcast recently. So she would probably be a good person to send to you. Yeah. She really, you're going to have to watch the podcast so you can see what she does. So we learned a lot.
Wait, are you?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. I learned that maybe I should be talking to her.
well, well, one of the most common things we deal with now, especially since I decided to work with the hopefully over 40 population and 50. I have a lot of clients 50, 60, 70, 80, right? So, but basically it's metabolic syndrome. People have a problem with regulating their insulin and everything. There's a lot going on there. And sometimes we're just not, and we talked about absorption. My wife and I talked about absorption this morning with our nutrients and all that. And sometimes you're not getting all of that. And the other thing is, without knowing, you can't fix the problem. So I think with what we have now, all this anti-aging was the reason we have so much more medical stuff now because I was involved with guys with anti-aging way back in the early 2000s. Um, it was Ronald Klatz and Robert Goldman. They established a lot with that with the American Academy of Anti-Aging, and because of people getting involved with that, we want to look better and live longer and feel better in our because we live longer. We want to feel better in our 70s and 80s, right? And the biggest thing people don't do is keep the nutrients up. They just go, oh, I mean, how many? If you think of your own parents or grandparents, and you go to their house, what's grandma got for breakfast? Cup of tea and two pieces of toast, right? Got some eggs, maybe some eggs. Oh, my grandma, I don't want to get, they used to think that, well, remember, this is a generation, they thought smoking cigarettes would help out their diet plan. It's a generation where they thought if you ate something that it was 300 calories, you're going to get fat from that because even though it was protein and healthy fats and healthy nutrients, they didn't get it because no one gave them the information. And the fact that they had health and nutrition, and I actually taught health and nutrition at all the different levels of schooling now. It never happened. When you and I were kids, it was girls were in home ec. That was the only they had for how to make a meal, right?
We made lollipops.
You know,
We
yeah,
did.
we made yeah, yeah, exactly. Say that, Dave, that's really nutritious, But and the thing, and we're so, there's a really fun thing I did last week. I might have, I don't know if I mentioned this to you and Chris because I did it a day that I trained you. Is I went to and I won't mention the name of the store because it's a convenience store here in New Jersey. There's a lot of them, okay, all over the country. I went in and trying to find something that was healthy to eat because I'm a guy. When I was running too quick in the morning at 4:30 or 5 o'clock when I start my day, and I grab a cup of coffee and I better get a protein bar. I forgot to bring my own stuff. I stop over and get a protein. There's one thing I could buy in the store that I always would buy, but then I looked at some other things, and it was like I couldn't find anything that was healthy and you could eat. Nothing. I couldn't. I went through the whole. I was there for over an hour right in this town.
Not even like a banana by the counter.
The banana. The banana looked like someone beat it up a week ago, and it was really, really good. Once it's got brown spots, it's too much sugar. But anyhow, not that I wouldn't still eat it because I love bananas. But yeah, but it's basically yeah. You go and ask at the counter. They make protein shakes. You go, okay, what's in your protein? Because the ingredients. They don't have the information. I was like, wow. So, and this is something that most of the population does. We're all in a hurry. We grab something quick and go. We spend $6 or $8 or $10 on two crappy things on the way to work instead of making something at home or having a plan to have something later on that's healthy. And that's what I'm getting at, the whole lifestyle change is there's a lot of behavior management to do. And that's what I hope that as we put this all together here is, get people so they're actually thinking that way. And it's really hard to do when you're tired and you're in a hurry. I'm not innocent of that. Oh boy. Especially those cool protein bars like fake chocolate in them are great. Anyhow, so I was saying,
Oh, oh,
well, I was just saying, you know what I suggest for protein bars. You know what
yeah.
I want you to have. You got to refrigerate them and everything. It's
I need to
crazy.
go get them. I need to go buy them. I haven't bought them yet. You know how we are with grocery shopping. But we did go
Yeah,
on Sunday. We went grocery shopping on Sunday. You'll be happy to know. So now we have food in the house. So no more
just
eating
to
out.
confirm, this might
Yes.
be
He was with me. He was with me. I have
awesome.
we shopped together. So, Chris, what an incredible conversation full of practical advice, real mindset shifts and motivation. You could take straight to your next workout or your next big life goal. So tell us how everybody here can find you.
Well, I have a website called Cray Fitness. Cray is Cray, like Cray, or crazy without a Z. At crayfitness.com. You can always reach me by phone, which is probably the best way to reach me because I'm always working with somebody and texting is obnoxious, but I do it anyways. It's 973-987-2027. And I usually get back to people within 24 hours and we do a free assessment when someone comes in, as you know, they come in the first time is free, to see what's going on with them. And if they hire me, awesome. If they don't, they leave with a little more knowledge. I'm still pretty happy because, then I know they're left with a good experience.
Oh, that's great.
Madison at 42 Main Street, right above, Tremont.
Yes. Madison, New Jersey. Love that
Madison, New
place. Love the
Jersey.
town. That's it.
Great little
You have to
spot
say
around the
New
corner.
Jersey because there's other Madisons in the country.
Oh, yes, it's like saying, 'cause I lived in Portland, Maine, and my sisters lived in Portland, Oregon. And they say, "Are you from
Right.
Portland?" I go, "Yeah." And they go, "Oh, wow, it's nice out there. I went to." And they go, "No, no, no. That's Portland by Beaverton. That's on the west coast."
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, Madison, New Jersey, and great place to be. Great downtown, easy parking for you and I both. We both have great parking lots behind our places. And as far as getting a hold of people, your setup is much better than mine. I'm a little jealous of how great you have someone there doing the thing, and it's what I'm trying to get back to. And I think that's what people, if they try to contact you, it's we're here to help. And the reason I was excited to do this podcast with you because I know your heart is into helping people, and that's who I hang out with. I suggest everybody, if you want to get in shape, get a couple of buddies and do it together. Go find a place to walk and hang out, and then
And come to Beneath the Surface Spa for a massage.
yes, beneath the surface spa for massage or facial, whatever. And then the other thing is make sure you hire someone who knows what they're doing. Don't hire someone who's just doing. And I hear it all the time, and people would tell me about doctors they went to that were negative, and I said, I don't care if they're negative as long as they're at the top of the class. I want that doctor. I want people that know what they're doing, right? Have a plan for you, and you have a plan for your people like I do. That's why you and I are going to know each other for a long time.
Yes,
So, I'm excited.
absolutely.
Thank you so much for inviting me to the
You're
podcast.
welcome. Thank you for joining me on the Pretty Profit Podcast, where we believe transformation is possible when you combine intention with action. Today's episode gave you the push you needed. Be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell, but please leave your comments below so that we can answer any questions that you may have. Remember, the best investment you can make is the one you make in yourself.
Fully agree. And please, any questions people have, send them over to me as well. Love to chat with you folks. Love to get the information we can. Thank you.